Alan Greenspan lowered interest rates after 9/11. So Alan Greenspan lowered interest rates. He made the argument that they needed to lower interest rates in order to help out the failing airlines in the United States. However, what happened was a lot of money was printed, and that money basically went into the real estate market. And then basically when the Fed started to Bernanke raised interest rates, this faucet of newly printed money was basically closed off, and then one by one, these people that had taken out mortgages could no longer refinance their mortgages because the faucet of cheap money was closing, and then basically these people started defaulting. Another argument that exists is that it wasn't really our normal banking system that collapsed in 2008. It was what's called the shadow banking system, and basically this is a whole group of financial intermediaries that exist in the United States that aren't exactly covered by the federal deposit insurance. However, they are covered implicitly by the government. And so these organizations, like, for example, the investment banks like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, they know that they're too large to fail, and that the government will bail them out regardless of how much risk they take on. So, there's this saying that we have in the community, which is privatize your gains and socialize your losses. So if these banks can make a bet where the bet has a high return that they get to keep, and it's very risky, and the chance that they lose is high, but if they lose, they don't have to pay the bill, the taxpayers have to pay the bill, then it's a good business to be in, right? So basically the Austrian economist would say there was a bit of moral hazard here. These banks knew that they would be bailed out, so they acted in certain ways that allowed them to take on more risk. Mixing that with low interest rates that are artificially decided on by the central bank, people in the Austrian economics community were predicting this crash for 3 or 4 years prior to it occurring. So everybody saw the writing on the walls.
Do the Austrian